Good morning YouTube, Chris here, the Country Cottage Gardener. Welcome to a day in the life. Now it's just a bit of a spontaneity video here. I'm all over the place. I'm actually really busy. I've literally just dropped off a whiskey barrel to a office building which is near me called Holiday Extras. They sell all holidays and what have you. Anyway, why would I do whiskey barrels? I'll go into that a bit more in detail later on, because that's a secondary company I run. And so today I've got a really busy one. I've actually just had another order come in for some whiskey barrel bits that I do, and as I say, I'll talk about that in a little while. So I've got something to make later on. I've also got something to palletise to send up north. I've got 2 gardens to go do, which I'm actually 15 minutes behind because I've dropped off this one. And then I've got a visitor. I've got a YouTube visitor coming to see me, and that'll be nice. That'll be a nice bit of spontaneity. Now, as I pull out this car park here, just been speaking to the guy who manages the area and all that sort of thing, manages the site, and he was talking about the tender for this place, and it is gorgeous. I mean, for an office building, it is top of the range, spanking. It's gorgeous. Loads of hedging, all ornamental, lovely bit of grounds, and it takes 3 people a day a week. So he's asked me if I'd be interested in the tender. Anyway, let's crack on with the day and let's get to my first customer. I've also run in the gauntlet a little bit with fuel because the old lights come on, but because I was late I decided to push it back a little bit, so I've got to nip on. Anyway, catch up with you soon. Right, here at my first job, we are 5 to 9, so I am running half an hour behind time. But this client's not here at the moment, so I've got to try and make the time up in between jobs, because I'm finishing early today. Because as I say, I normally finish early anyway on a Tuesday because I go and pick my boy up, but it's half term and I've got this lovely visitor coming to see me, so it's all working out rather well. But looking at the sky out there, it ain't looking none too clever. Anyway, let's get out the wagon, take me headphones with us, because I'm going to listen to my first podcast of the day, and I'll show you what I'm going to be doing. So this is the front of this property here. I'm actually going to be returning to this property in a couple of weeks because I've got a pergola job to do. And I'll tell you what, the beds aren't looking too bad actually. I did do a very deep weed on these. I've got lots of these. This is all micro weeding, what I'd call. There's lots of these little seedlings coming up here. Had a lot of rain overnight as well, so this ground is going to be quite claggy. Still a bit early to be cutting back the hydrangeas. The buds aren't really developing on there. Not looking none too. Some of the properties I go to at the moment, the buds are lovely and big and juicy, where not so great here. That's not too bad really. This is all in full bloom. Looking gorgeous. Smelling gorgeous. Lovely. Lots of lovely cyclamens down here. It's lovely when they come out. Helio ball poking its way through. These aren't looking too bad, to be honest. So I think I'm going to cut back a lot of these hellebore leaves. Reason for cutting back a lot of the hellebores is so the flowers can pop a lot more. Right, let's get some tools out. I think I'm going to put a jacket on as well. Right, okay, let's just turn my let's turn that off. Turn off with a bit of Spandau Ballet. Right, okay, YouTube. So I've been through this bed. As you've seen, I've cut back all the helioball leaves. I've actually trimmed up a little bit of this winter flowering jasmine. Wasn't too much to do on the Mahonia behind me because I cut that back hard last year. It was twice the height and it was blocking some of the window light coming through, so I only pruned up a little bit underneath there. Took a couple of limbs off the skimmer just there, tidied up some of the winter ferns. This is all going to be helping taking these leaves off, because we've got things like the muscari coming up. There's things like the narcissi and daffodils and all those sort of things, all those little bulbs which are starting to come up now. And we're quite shaded around here. We don't get a lot of frost in this little pocket, which is quite good. It is a bit shaded, so that's why the things like the ferns and the heliobores do really well. Anyway, let's spin the camera around. You can have a little look at that. Not sure how much the camera really picks up, but all these flowers are really popping now. They're really sort of coming up. You can see the hybridization between the white ones here, the pinks there, and then we're getting this lovely pale whitey pink, which are hybridized between the two. Absolutely gorgeous. Stunning plants. But all of these little seedlings here, I can transplant those next year. I'm not going to move them now. I'm going to leave them. I just took a couple of limbs off of here, shaped it all round a little bit, took the underneath off. Just been through with a blower. I'm not a big fan of using blowers overly. I use them just at the end to tidy up. So I mostly go around with the broom and the rake and then just clear up a little bit at the end of the blower. If you enjoy these type of videos where I'm talking a little bit more in depth to why and how I'm doing things, let me know. Let me know in the comments section, because without that sort of interaction, I don't know what sort of things you enjoy. I know different people are going to enjoy different things, etc. But if you don't tell me, I don't know. Anyway, I'm just going to show you what I've got here in the van. I've dropped off, instead of whiskey barrel this morning, I dropped one off to somebody who was hiring one as a prop, using it for a photo shoot later on. But spin the camera around and I'm just going to show you something a little bit different that I make. Right, so this is a whiskey barrel bar. So these start out at full size whiskey barrels, and I make them into bars with lighting in them and all sorts. Yeah, something a bit different, so I've got to deliver that one. It's actually been personalised as well on top, hand painted all of that in there. Right, okay YouTube, so yeah, the weather's just coming in. So I actually did a video here last week where I was doing mulching on the beds, and I didn't do all the beds last week, so I'm going to do a few now. But because the weather's coming in, I don't really want to be walking over the lawn areas, because that'll make them worse than they already are. So I'm going to work my way around the courtyard and do all the fruit trees, and a little bit on the lower level where there's all hard standing. So the only mucky areas are where the horses walk through here anyway, so it'd be good to get that job done. Right, that's another wheelbarrow done. This rain, these showers keep coming in and off. So I've gone around and done all the fruit trees in the courtyard. All sorts of things in there, from nectarines, rounds of pears and whatever. Absolutely gorgeous. Never actually filmed pruning those up because it's such a quick job. I'm not saying I've ever filmed, but maybe next year. Right, okay. Can have a brief chat about clients and the types that you really want. Where's my phone? Let me just pop you up in here while I get undressed. Oh. Right, okay. Just having a look around that turning circle there where I've been putting the muck on. And hyacinths coming up, which is nice. I forgot I put them in a little while ago. Right, I'm going to chat briefly about clients. And now it's all, to be honest, it's a video all on its own, the type of clients you want and such. And it might be one if I get requests. Let me just get around here. It's a bit of a tight old fit around here, especially with this long ladder on. Right, there we go. If there's subjects you want me to cover, then tell me, because I'll certainly talk about them. And I get quite a few comments about how nice the gardens are that I work at and whatever, and I think I've got very unusual working style with my clients, especially, as I said before, I run the Facebook group, and it seems that the working relationship I have with my clients is very different to a lot of people. Like, the client has just come out to me and was like, why are you working in the rain? Don't. I'm like, well, a little bit behind, because I self-govern on a lot of these jobs. I know what needs to be done and when and how and so on and so forth. And yeah, there's a few things in the garden I'd like to do. Like, I'd really have liked to have got all that mulching done today. And it's like, doesn't matter, don't worry, fine, go. You don't, because they don't want me working in the rain and getting poorly, because then they won't have me at all. And they're very grateful for when I turn up and do what I do. And I don't like the terminology above and beyond. I don't particularly like that, because I feel if you're handing a good service, then that's generally what you should be doing anyway. See, my working style is very different. As I said on the way in, I think there's is there very few? I don't know. I class myself as a gardener, horticulturalist. I'm quite happy to jump on the digger and dig out the culverts like I've done here. Like I said earlier on, I'll be doing a bit of stock fencing for them. I've done horse shelters, temporary shelters for clients. In fact, yesterday I was at a customer's. They messaged me over the weekend and said, we've had a couple of birthday presents for our little boy. Would you mind doing a few extra things for us? They know that I'm capable of doing extra work, so I just put a basketball hoop up and a punching bag in one of the carports. I get paid to do the job, it doesn't bother me. Now you might think, oh, that's running in the realms of handyman. I suppose it could be, but they know first and foremost I am a gardener, and I'm a gardener they don't mind me saying no to these things. They don't mind me saying no, and I go to these gardens once a week for a good few hours every week of the year, unless it's raining or holidays. So giving back a little bit in a different way, it's no bother to me. I'm not uptight about it. It seems a very alien concept to me that somebody might go to a client very regular, and this client is paying you very regular, and you wouldn't do a little bit extra. It just seems second nature to me. It's what I've always done and always will continue to do, and it stands me in good stead. And I'll tell you why, which is why I'll brief onto this sort of diverted conversation. That client I've been going to for a decade, and I happened to mention to them last week, I've got some time coming up. I've got a client who's selling their house, and I'll be honest, if I had 1.2 million, I would definitely buy the property. It's gorgeous. I've been going there for a long time, probably about 6 years I think to that one, and it's got a nice lake and it's got fruit trees, which probably a lot of them have seen better days. Anyway, I digress. And I just said, well, I'm losing that client. I can't, the businessman in me said, I can't put my eggs in the basket of whoever purchases it will take me on as an entity as well. It could happen, but I can't. I've done this before and got stung where I haven't been taken on. And they said, okay, if you've got some time, we'll make a couple of calls for you. We've got some friends who are very similar to us, same age group. They've asked previously, but we've never really said to you about it because we always know how busy you are. Because I chat to my clients, I let them know how busy I am. I tell them what I've got on and what things I'm doing. I'm friendly with them. I talk about my weekend and my family, and you know, it's all part of being a person rather than being, that's what's different, being self-employed, is being a person to being a company. And the strange thing is, this client has been paying by card for quite a while now on one of those machines, and I said, can you do a check this time, because the battery had died. And it's not insulting, but they couldn't remember my company name because they know me as Chris the gardener, and they don't know me as a company, which is lovely because they know me. And this is always the thing. And Sam was talking about it on his podcast, which I listened to, and saying that the thing is with, oh, here comes the tractor. You can come all the way up here, mate. There's no point me. Big old tractor, it's got a big trailer of shit on the back. Is that when you've got personality and when you're working with these clients, they want you, they don't want somebody else. So that's always a bit difficult. You've also almost got to be faceless with clients when if you know that you want to expand your business or whatever. There he goes. So anyway, they made a couple of phone calls for me, and somebody phoned me up, left me a voicemail and said, oh hi, been given your details from such and such, we've always admired their garden, we've long-standing friends sort of thing, and we've got 6 acres a mile away from them which we would love you to dedicate some time to if you can spare it. Do you want to come along and have a look, see if it's suitable for you? And I find that quite interesting really, because they're asking me whether I'm suitable, if I'm willing to take on their garden, not in the sense of can you come along and meet you. They know from what I've seen and heard so far, they know that I'm good stuff and what to expect and what sort of service I can provide, which is lovely, which is fantastic. So I wouldn't ever underestimate having that relationship with your clients, and your clients can provide some of the best work for you, because if you get on well with your clients, and I'll say friendly but not friends, you get on well with them, then they're going to be your first port of call to new work. So not just with them, but with their friends, family, and so on and so forth. I would say it can get you into a bit of a sticky wicket if you all work within one big group of people, because financially you might feel obliged to offer the same price, but it's different circumstances, like logistics of the workings, getting to the job and so on and so forth, and the tool requirements. And also a lot of my gardens, I'm not going to lie, a lot of my gardens, my clients enjoy their gardens. They like working in them as well, which is no shock horror. They like doing it as well, which is fantastic, because they'll actually ask me for my advice within the garden. And I noticed this about 6 years ago with my clients, where they started asking me for advice rather than them kind of instructing what they would like to do. It's kind of a role reversal as such. It's kind of like a daughter looking after the mum sort of scenario, and it's very flattering and very confident boosting. So anyway, I've yabbered on now for, that's added an extra 10 minutes to the video. I apologise, but I think it's quite important little message to do, and that's what some of these videos are about, is having the chats along the way. Anyway, I'm off to meet my mystery guest. Thank you for sticking along so far, and if you haven't actually subscribed, I should urge you to do so, because I don't do it enough. But you'll see me pop up on the screen, and just smash that subscribe button, and we'll catch up momentarily where we're going to meet my my YouTube friend, and I'm going to get some lunch, because I'll tell you what, I'm Hank Marvin and I haven't had a coffee since I took the dog out at 6 o'clock this morning, and it's now what, 12:15. Anyway, right, my little seedlings, as you can see from the dark, I've actually been caught with my tongue. So I've been here with my surprise YouTube visitor. We've been putting the world to rights. We've been talking about you guys, if we're honest. We've been talking about the world of YouTube, been talking about different tools and aspects, and about our channels and whatever, and how different working styles go. And he's extremely bored by my, he's had enough of me talking already. Anyway, I'll keep you all in suspense, and if you hadn't already guessed, my YouTube visitor today is Reese.
Hello, seedlings.
So if you don't know who the Kilted Gardener is, we're going to put his channel down in the context below, but I'm sure if you're already subscribed to my channel, you'll be well aware of who this guy is and all about his channel as well. But if not, you can actually tell my subscribers
Okay.
about yourself.
Oh dear. Please edit out all this. It's really weird. Sorry. Yeah, if you
See, he didn't know I was going to do this, so this is kind of like, I said I'm going to wrap up the video.
He's going to put all this on YouTube, all this sort of like embarrassment and everything.
So it is my fault really. I've put him on the spot a little bit, and he shouldn't be shy about who he is and what he does as well, because he does the vlogging, and if anything, if you know Reese's channel, you know that he talks on camera a lot more than I do. But he's very kindly, how many hours did it take to get down here?
3.5.
3.5 hours, so I'm very flattered that he's actually taken the time out of his day to come down and see us. And to be honest, this is what YouTube is about. It brings together people from different parts of the country, and these collaborations should actually get on a little bit more. And we've discussed other things that we would like to do with our channels, because we're both really into our editing, and we've got a couple of ideas, and we're going to hopefully put together a few different edits going forward as well. But if you don't know his channel, please do actually go along and actually give him a subscribe as well. What are you doing?
I'm cold.
Of course, if you don't know, he's called the Kilted Gardener because he is actually a chap in a skirt at the moment as well. So you are freezing your brass monkeys off at the moment, aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Well, the people on my channel, they're going to know that anyway.
Of course. But as I say, go over, give him a subscribe, give us a thumbs up and everything, and hopefully we'll have a few more of these collaborations. And I'm going to try and get this guy down, and he's going to come round and actually have a look at some of my gardens as well, and I'm going to get
be really good.
I've had a few people contact us before, and they say that they want to come along and do some work with us and such. And it'd be really good to, you know, just see how other people work. I would say that Reese has been a little bit shocked at how dirty my van is. Purely because
for some reason people think I'm OCD. I'm not. I just like things clean. Look at the state of it.
Yeah, and I've actually got a confession that the last time I cleaned this van was when I actually did the video, which is coming up in the cards at the top, which was when Charlie, my little seedling, and I actually sign wrote the van. Yeah, I'm going to put it down to not washing it because I've been so busy, but the reality is I'm probably just a bit lazy.
If you've not watched his channel, then you'll see how relaxed he is.
I am pretty relaxed about it all, but it doesn't mean that I should really be having things growing in the front cap, which is pretty grim. But there we are. Anyway, gonna wrap the video up because we're losing light and before we both get brass monkeys. So thank you very much for watching.
They're clean cars over there. You can have your van cleaned.
Yeah, I don't get paid enough to pay somebody else to do it. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you do subscribe. If you're new to the channel, of course, hit that button. And also, I've got to say, looking at my analytics, the guys that do watch already, hit that notification bar as well, the button, because a lot of my subscribers aren't getting the notifications apparently. I've had a few messages where they say it's not picking up. But if you make sure you ring that bell, then you actually get it come up all the time as well. So from me and for Reese, thanks very much for watching.
Thanks for watching.
We'll catch you again soon. Cheers.